Hello everybody and welcome to Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. It's Saturday, Premier League football is back and we've got a cracker, an absolute cracker for you this Saturday lunchtime. It's Bielsa versus Pep. It's a football purist game actually. I mean, in the context of the league, obviously I think Manchester City are going to win the league, we're fully aware of that. And I also think that in the context of the Leeds United, they're not going to get relegated. Maybe they're going to get mid-table, maybe they'll finish above Arsenal, we'll find out. But it's certainly going to be a very interesting game in relation to how it's played out between two managers, which you could argue are two of the best footballing managers in the Premier League. Maybe not the two best teams in the Premier League, I'm not here to say that, but I certainly think that they're two of the most footballing-minded managers in the Premier League. So I'm looking forward to it. There's some big games this weekend. As I said, my club, Manchester United, playing Spurs tomorrow. I've got a bad feeling. About that. Mourinho already sort of mocking Ollie about, it's egotistical to win trophies, apparently, says Mourinho. Well, it's not. But Bielsa versus Pep is interesting. I'm going to go through the team news now. Manchester City obviously got a big game midweek coming up against Dortmund. They had a difficult game against Dortmund midweek themselves anyway. 2 legs, obviously. That's why they're doing it twice. But we'll go through the team news. I've got it on the screen here for you. So Manchester City against Leeds. 3 games today. Man City start with Ederson, Cancelo, Stones, Aki, Mendy, Bernardo Silva, Fernandinho, Zinchenko in the midfield, Torres, Gabriel Jesus and Sterling. So he's made quite a lot of changes. But as per usual, the bench is ridiculous. Walker, Ruben Diaz, Gundogan, Stefan, Rodri, De Bruyne, Mahrez, Foden, Garcia. So ridiculous strength in depth for Leeds, for Man City. But maybe a sniff of a chance for Leeds because Aki plays, Zinchenko plays in the midfield, Torres plays. Still very good players, but a drop-off in ability definitely for Man City, even though all 3 of those players would probably start for Leeds. Leeds, Meslier in goal, Ayling, Laurent, Cooper, Alioski, Phillips, Rafinha, Dallas, Roberts, Costa and Bamford. So, my prediction is that Man City might win this 3-1. I think there'll be a lot of goals in this game. But we will see how it pans out. I'm going to go 3-1 to Leeds, but I would love. Sorry, not 3-1 to Leeds. I'm actually going to go 3-1 to Manchester City. I think they'll win comfortably. Of course, Man City getting closer to winning that title. They are currently 14 points ahead of United. If they win today, they go 17 points ahead of United, and obviously they would have 6 games to go. So 17's getting close to 18 points, isn't it? But if United lose tomorrow and Man City win today, that would be a 17-point gap. And that gap's getting bigger, isn't it? But they'd need by my estimations, they'd probably need another 2 wins and then the title's there. So they're maybe 2 or 3 wins away from winning the title, Man City. So big incentive for them, of course. Let's have a look what people are talking about. A lot of people talking about Harry Kane. 4-3 in. You know what? The reason I chose this game over any other game today, I think without Grealish, Liverpool will beat. Who are Liverpool? Liverpool will beat Villa quite easily, I think, without Grealish playing for Villa. And I also think that Crystal Palace will lose to Chelsea quite comfortably as well. So, hence, I've gone with this game. So we'll see what happens with it. But I think hopefully guaranteed lots of goals in this game, to be fair with you. Okay. Let's have a look. I love the streams. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto was good last night. Enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. And yeah, looking forward to... I'm doing a Grand National watch along this afternoon as well. I don't know why I've got my subtitles on, probably from the other night to watch Ollie make an excuse. So I need to get the timer going as well. I'm going to talk about Harry Kane to leave Spurs in a minute because that's quite a big story from today. Obviously it links in with my club as well, but links in with other clubs as well. I mean, would Pep Guardiola fancy Harry Kane? I don't know why he wouldn't. He's not just a goal scorer, he can provide goals as well, and if you can get the ball to him, he can definitely do that. So yeah, I don't know that. Let's see. I just saw something there about United announcing things there. Okay, that's quite interesting. All right. Let me get the timer here. Timer's ready. Good. There was something else I wanted to do and I forgot what we wanted to do. A bit tired after Grand Theft Auto last night, actually. I know what I wanted to do. So yeah, I'm going to go 3-1. Get your score predictions in. Leeds against Manchester City. I do want to just check where Leeds are in the league as well. I know they've got no chance of European football, but I think they have got chance of going past Arsenal, which is, I think Arsenal's priority, as we know, is the... Sorry, there's a minute's silence here for Prince Philip, so I'm just... And that's it. That's the 2 minutes. So Leeds, actually, if Leeds were to win today, they could go up to 45 points, which, I mean, technically Leeds could, if you look at West Ham are on 52 points in 4th place. If Leeds won here today, they'd go to 45 points, 7 points off 4th. So it's a mad season. I mean, I don't think that Leeds can get top 4, I really don't. But I don't think they can get European football. I don't think they can even get top 8. But stranger things have happened, and it just shows you. Doesn't it, how this season can really turn around quite quickly for a lot of teams. I mean, Spurs win tomorrow, firmly into a top 4 race again. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy how it's moved around. So back to kick off. I've been looking forward to this one. The way I pick my games for That's Football is not conventional. And I just fancied this game as I pick the games I think I'm going to enjoy, basically. And I think Man City against Leeds, it's a football game. And I loved PSG Bayern the other night. We're doing those watch-alongs next week, of course. But I loved PSG versus Bayern last week. A few days ago, I say last week. Yeah, that was on the highest stage there is, of course. But it doesn't really matter to me whether it's on the highest stage or not, because it's about the entertainment value, and I like to just watch a good game of football. I think Leeds are always a good team to watch, Leeds, and obviously Man City will play their way as well. So I think we'll see an open game. I'm going to go 3-1 to Manchester City on this one. No Grand Theft Auto tonight, mate. It's back tomorrow, Josh. Big night tomorrow. So Manchester United versus Spurs tomorrow afternoon on United Stand. I'll then be doing Grand Theft Auto at about 10:30 till about 12:30, and then I'm doing WrestleMania from 1 till 5. So big day tomorrow. So I'm going to get a bit of a rest tonight. Bit of a rest. Maybe a takeaway and a film. That'll do me. Thank you very much. Do I rate Bielsa? Says Ben. I do. I think that I don't know whether Bielsa would do a great job at Man City. I think it's very easy to say that, give Bielsa the team that Pep's got and they'd win the Premier League. Maybe they would, but there's also the argument that Bielsa maybe gets the best out of limited players and, moulds them the way he wants to. Could he do that could he get Man City players to work as hard as Leeds players? I think he probably could. But I think the brilliance of Bielsa is that Leeds team managed by I think if you gave this Leeds team to Solskjaer, you gave this team to Arteta, you gave this team to Mourinho, I think they would be in the bottom half of the table because the quality of the players isn't really there. So I think Bielsa does a great job with a set of players that really are quite limited. That's what I think the brilliance of him is. Can I just say though, with the game's kicked off here, I don't want to miss this. So the Athletic are reporting that Harry Kane may well leave Spurs this summer, may well force a leave this summer if they don't get Champions League football. This has reignited excitement, certainly in my club's fan base, Manchester United, but also around everywhere. But I've got to come in on this and say, I know WrestleMania's 2 nights. I'm not watching tonight. I'm doing it tomorrow night. So I've said this many times, but thank you for the clarity on that, FX Riz. I've said this many times. Manchester United have been linked to Erling Haaland, and I find it very frustrating because I watch Manchester United play every single game, every single minute. And I know exactly what the problem is with Manchester United. They play dull, slow, pedantic, non-progressive, possession-based football. It doesn't matter whether you've got Erling Haaland, Harry Kane or Charlie Austin up front. They ain't going to get any service. And yet, you do get United fans this morning going, oh, I don't care. Harry Kane would revolutionise Manchester United because he can create goals. And I'm like, how basic do you watch Hold on a minute, Rafinha, cut back, just behind Bamford, that could have been a chance. How basic do you watch your football? Because I don't care how many assists Harry Kane's got this season. How deep do you want him to come to create these goals at United? He'd literally have to come to his own bloody penalty box. We don't get the ball to our number 9 in any decent situation. Whether it's dropping off to the edge of the box, dropping to the halfway line, or standing on the penalty spot, Man United provide no service for our striker. Martial can create. Cavani can create. Greenwood can definitely create. They don't create and they don't score because they don't get the ball quick enough. And if you want to spend £150 million on one of the world's best strikers and think that we're going to get better, then you're a fool. Because you're not watching United play. There are United fans out there this morning going, don't care what anyone says, you put Harry Kane in that team and we're winning the league. You put Harry Kane in that team and it'll solve world peace, COVID and everything. He won't. He will get no service. And service is not just the finishing. Service is getting the ball like he gets for Spurs to turn and spin and create for Rashford or Son if he's at Spurs. We don't get the ball quick enough to anybody to create anything. Bruno's not creating anymore. Pogba's not creating anymore. They don't get the ball quick enough from the back. So if you want Harry Kane at Man United, you've got to buy a centre-back who's quicker on the ball and you've got to buy a CDM who moves the ball quicker. And then Harry Kane can become a legend at Manchester United, but not in these circumstances, not with our midfield and not with our centre-backs. We're way too slow. So I would take Harry Kane at Manchester United, of course I would, but I think you'd get a very frustrated at Harry Kane at Manchester United very quickly in the way that we're playing at the moment. Now, of course, the positive is, if you brought Harry Kane to Manchester United and Ollie changes the way he plays football, that might be very different. Because what could happen is United could buy Harry Kane or Haaland in the summer. They could score 40 goals and everyone could go, you said they'd fail. Well, I'm going to put this right here, right now. We could buy Harry Kane or Erling Haaland and they could score 40 goals next season, but it would be because we played different football to we're playing now, which of course we could do. It's very easy for United to play a different brand of football. Solskjaer just doesn't want to. But in the current setup, the risk is if you bring a striker like that in, they're totally wasted. They're totally wasted. Kane can play false 9, and this is the sort of idiotic comment I'm talking about. Bruno Fernandes is playing at number 10 for United. He's getting no service. Why is Harry Kane playing at false 9 getting any service? You're not listening to what I'm saying. I watch United play. We don't get enough of the ball to Bruno, let alone a false 9. So you say all this but want Ollie to get a new contract. Well, that's a different point, JB. That's got nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it. Where else could Harry Kane go? I think Harry Kane would be superb for Chelsea, but he ain't going to go to Chelsea. I think Harry Kane would be very good for Man City, but I don't think Man City would pay the money for him. Also, there's concerns about Harry Kane's injury record. He does get injured every season for about 6 weeks, so that's probably something that would turn Man City off. I think he'd score a lot of goals for Liverpool. I think he'd be brilliant for Liverpool. And a false 9 needs an elite midfield to work. You're absolutely spot on there from Ice Mooney. The way United play at the moment, You could put Ronaldo up front, Messi up front, they would fail because we play such bland, boring football. You can't be a contradictor. I listen to United fans constantly talking about how crap the football is, but then they want to drop one player in and think we're going to turn into prime Man City. It's not going to happen. United's problems won't be solved by one player. They need 4. So, very, very simple. I think that Kane would be brilliant for Chelsea. I think he could turn Chelsea into a title contender. I think he'd probably turn... I mean, imagine Harry Kane with Salah and Mane. He'd make Liverpool a better team. I think he'd make Man City a better team. So, look, Harry Kane's a fantastic player, but I'm probably with Tyler. I don't actually think there's anything in this story. I think it's a bit about United are playing Spurs. Let's hype it up a little bit. Let's mention Harry Kane might leave if they don't get Champions League football. Well, they might get Champions League football and then he won't leave anyway. I don't think Harry Kane's going to leave Spurs because I think there's... I think Harry Kane's in a worse situation to a Paul Pogba or an Mbappe or a Haaland. He hasn't got a release clause and he's not out of contract in a year. So he's in a golden cage, Harry Kane. He's got a very big contract at Spurs. They would demand a lot of money and I don't think anybody's got the money for Harry Kane. So to me it wouldn't work. Can you say happy birthday to Joe? Says Full Fat Milk. Happy birthday, Joe. Nice ball down the right hand side to Rafinha. Anyway, very open game here. Here's Rafinha up against Aki. Ayling takes it on and wins a corner. Good start to the game. I would take Harry Kane at Man United, by the way. But it wouldn't solve our problem spending all our money on him. It would just be a luxury signing. Basically, Man United signing Harry Kane is like buying yourself an electric blanket but sleeping on a bed of hay in a shed. It's a luxury item. Where are you going to plug it in? And if you do plug it in, you're going to start a fire that's going to burn it all down because it's not going to work. Cross from Leeds there. I don't want United to sell Pogba, no. Do I rate Roman Abramovich at Chelsea, says Josephine? I don't really know anything about him because I'm not a Chelsea fan, but ultimately you can't, I think he's been a little bit ruthless. I thought getting rid of Ancelotti was ridiculous, really. They're not very patient, but then again, you can't argue with the quality of players he's brought in. You can't argue with the fact that every manager he brings in, they get backed. I mean, you might argue with him sacking Lampard or Ancelotti, but the manager that comes in after them gets backed. I mean, bloody hell. Sarri got an £80 million goalkeeper, didn't they? Spend £80 million on Kepa. So they back every manager. You can't argue that he didn't come into that club with the ambition of making you Chelsea one of the best clubs in the world. They've won a Champions League. They've won numerous league titles. Have I got a haircut book, Jason? Yes, I have. I think Tuesday. But a big week. I'm really looking forward to the Champions League games next week. They were so good this week. I know we did watch-alongs for them, but I enjoyed the games anyway. And this has been a good 10 minutes. Very, very open. I mean, there's so much space. You compare this game to United against Granada the other night, and look how much space there is. Look at the pressing by both teams. City playing with a front four and pressing. You never see that from United. And I know I talk about United a lot, but that's my team. And look at City there playing with a front four against Leeds and pressing them high in, and then Leeds are pressing City. It's just a good game to watch, an open game. Is there a lot resting on it? Well, look, if Leeds win, it's a massive result. If Man City win, they're that much closer to the title. But as a spectacle and a game of football, it's just fantastic to watch. Prediction for West Ham versus Leicester. That's a big game, Sam. Big game. I mean, we'll go through the weekend fixtures because that's something that we don't normally get a chance to do. So, yeah, you've got good cross coming in. Edison gets hold of it. Obviously, we've got what do we got? We got Liverpool and Villa today. I think Liverpool will win that. They need to win that, and I think they'll win that. Villa are just not the same team at the moment, and I think Palace against Chelsea. Chelsea will win that. I don't think either of those two games are going to be providing a shock for us. So I think Villa and Liverpool and Chelsea will win that, and both need to win that. Tomorrow, if Liverpool do win and Chelsea do win, that puts them 3 points closer to Leicester and West Ham. So it's a bad loss for either of those two tomorrow. I think that's a cracking game, West Ham against Leicester. I sort of want to do a watch along for it, but it's difficult because I've got Man United Spurs to do. So I might do sort of like the first 60 minutes of that game. But I don't know which way it's going to go. I mean, West Ham don't have Declan Rice. I've heard that there's issues with Antonio. But Leicester, you almost expect Leicester to slip up. I'm going to go with a draw, 2-2 in that. I think it'll be very interesting. Man United Spurs, look, I've just got a bad feeling. I've got a bad feeling about that game. I do think that I think Spurs with a week off, and Mourinho will be very ready for this. He's obviously got an issue with Ollie, as you'd understand. So yeah, I think Spurs. But Spurs are so unpredictable. But I do think Spurs might win that one. If United sign Haaland or Kane, which shirt number will they take? Says Owen. Don't know. Zach, I tell you now, Man United Spurs won't be a boring game. I think that's just such a lazy assumption because they're two negative managers. It will be a boring game. I guarantee you, I don't think it will be a boring game. I think Spurs will go for it because they have to go for it. So I'll tell you what, let's have a little wager. I bet it won't be a boring game tomorrow. I bet it's not going to be a 0-0. Let's have a little bet there. Corner comes in, cleared by Leeds. Score prediction for Villa Liverpool. I think it'll be 2-0 Liverpool. I think it will be quite. William says it's not a lazy assumption, it's a logical one. I think it's a lazy assumption because Spurs have actually scored quite a few goals recently and they've had a week off, they'll be energetic and they need to win. So why would they go into a game to park the bus? They won't do that. Why would you park the bus against United? Well, what's the point? We played on Thursday night, we're not creating chances, why would you park the bus? I might be wrong, but we'll find out tomorrow. I do not think that Spurs are going to come and park the bus in a game that they need to win, where they've had a week off and they desperately need to win it, and United are tired. I don't think that will happen. United will sit back and try and hit on the break. Of course they will, and that might make the game a little bit dull. But Spurs will definitely come and try and win it. Spurs won't sit back, but we're talking in hypothetically. There's absolutely no point. Let's move on. Darshan says Ollie will get his revenge back 200%. I hope so. I really hope so. But the way we're playing at the moment, we're going to have to pull something out the hat. Be a great game to pull something out the hat. I do hold out hope that at some point United will play some good football. Yeah. I am doing a Grand National watch along. It's on the Paddy Power YouTube channel. Yes. United, I think I agree with TDM. I think United will park the bus because it's a game against the traditional top six, and that's what we tend to do in those sort of games. Yeah. But 15 minutes gone here. Still 0-0. No real clear-cut chances yet, but very open game. I do think we will get goals. It's a nice ball in, behind, cut the cross across. Bamford! Oh, how's he missed that? How's he missed that? I think he thought John Stones was going to get a touch on it. The cross comes across the face of the 6-yard box. Stones misses it and Bamford doesn't connect. Click and connect. Click and collect. What a chance that was for Leeds. Man City's defence looking a bit vulnerable for the first time ever. Well, not the first time ever, but, you know, first time in a long time. Big chance. Coming in from that right-hand side again. That's where Leeds are getting a lot of their hopes. But now it's Man City on the attack. Good cross. Good header away. Jesus. He's going to shoot from there. Sterling. Well over the bar. Well over the bar. Aki and Mendy look dodgy, says Ben Lennon. They're definitely targeting them. Now there's an injury here to Rafinha in a 50-50 with Sterling. Oh, I tell you what, that's nasty. Sterling's not done it on purpose. He's put his hand up straight away. But he treads on his ankle. But look at this. The cross comes in. I think it's from Roberts, isn't it? And Bamford, it's just behind him, really. There's not a lot he can do. Yeah, it was behind Bamford, to be fair. Not a lot he can do. Now, will Rafinha be able to play on? Been a good game though. I mean, look, Man City have made a lot of changes. They can afford to do that. They've got a big lead. They're going to win the Premier League, and they've got a big game against Dortmund on Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? I think it is Wednesday, isn't it? So they've obviously got an eye on that. This is the obsession of Pep Guardiola, is to win the. I feel like I'm Fabrizio Romano. Pep Guardiola is in love with the Champions League. He must get the Champions League. He's in love with the Champions League, but. Yeah, he is. He's obsessed with it. So they've made those changes today. I've just dropped the link in the video description for the Paddy Power Grand National. If you're watching that, I'm going to be live at 4 o'clock. The Grand National isn't until 5 o'clock, so I will have the Liverpool game on, and I will be doing some Q&As on there. So you can join me on there if you so wish from 4 o'clock today. You know what? I'm actually looking forward to Man United against Spurs. I am. I think in a season where we haven't really had many great rivalries, it's Sterling just had half a chance there, nothing really happening. In a season where there's not been many great rivalries, I know for a fact that Solskjaer and Mourinho don't like each other. They don't. So it just gives it that edge. And obviously they beat us 6-1 last time. They need to win. They're going to be very energetic. They've got Harry Kane in the team. I think it's going to be a real test for United. And look, I want United to do well. I want Solskjaer to do well. But my eyes are wide open that we're not playing particularly well at the moment. Well, what better game than a game against people like Harry Kane and Son? You know, Granada, I could have played up front for them and done a better job. They're not very good. But at times they looked half decent, but they had no quality. Tomorrow against Spurs, they have got that quality. So it's a big test. If United get a result against Spurs tomorrow, that's a big result. If we get beaten, then it's what many people expect. So even I never predict a Man United loss, but I just feel that we've got a loss coming in tomorrow. For many reasons. We're not playing particularly well. We're also played Thursday night. Spurs desperately need a win. I think there's a lot of things pointing towards us not getting a result. Rafinha's still on the pitch at the moment. He's fine. I still think United will get top 4, but if Chelsea win and Liverpool win today and United lose tomorrow and West Ham win, that's a terrible weekend for United because everyone closes up. Arsenal versus Sheffield United score predictions. I mean, Archie, I couldn't give a shit, really, but surely Arsenal win that. Surely that's a nailed-on 3 points for Arsenal against Sheffield United. I mean, have Sheffield United actually been relegated yet? Man City have got a corner here. It's a decent corner. It should be a goal. What a block. What a block again. 2 blocks from Leeds there. One from Torres, one from Jesus. Watch this. It's a good corner in. It draps to Torres. He volleys it. It's a great block on the floor. And then it's another block. I think it's Bamford that time. No, it's not Bamford. It doesn't hit Bamford. Two good blocks there. Torres took too long, says Matthew Larney. Well, they've got another corner here. It's another good delivery. Comes to Sterling on the edge. I tell you what, City have, for a Pep Guardiola team, City have become very good at set pieces, especially corners this season, haven't they? Andre Mariner's letting this game run, which is a good idea. You got two footballing sides like this, you just want to let the game run. Lovely ball out by Calvin Phillips. And he went for the first time ball. It's come back to Man City. Thoughts on Villa? I thought Jack Grealish was back, Ashy, but apparently he's not back, is he? So I think Villa without Grealish are just not the same team. But why is that a surprise? I'm not taking anything away from Villa, but Jack Grealish is a fantastic player. Look at Leeds pressing high up the pitch as well. That should have been a foul on Leeds there. He's played it on. Thoughts on Salah Ahmed, says Sylvie. Very good scout for FIFA career mode. Here's Mendy. Man City seem like they're getting closer to a goal at the moment. Here's Sterling on the edge of the box. To Zinchenko. Zinchenko is not Kevin De Bruyne. He's playing in the midfield today. It's not Kevin De Bruyne. It's Zinchenko. He might have the same colour hair, but he's definitely a Poundland version. I've seen a few people... Well, you could mistake him for De Bruyne for obvious reasons, but it's not. It's Zinchenko. He's on the bench. Who have you got in the Grand National? I haven't actually had a look yet. I haven't had my pick yet. I was looking earlier to see if Put the Kettle On is on it, because that was iconic at Cheltenham, but he's not in that race, is he? So, who's been dominating, says Werner. I think Man City last couple of minutes have started to get a foothold in the game, but Leeds have held their own. They've done all right so far. Here's Zinchenko. Who wins Barcelona Madrid today? Not bothered, Ethan, to be honest with you. Do you rate Kabak, says Josh Newcomb. Yes, I do. I think he's done quite well at Liverpool. I said this before. Yeah, a bit of a shaky start coming in January, but we had a player like that. Nemanja Vidic, I think he's done quite well. I'd be interested to see if Liverpool keep him on. Mark, play Saints Row after you've completed GTA storyline, says Ashley OG. I don't reckon Harry Kane will leave, no, Jamad. I haven't seen the goals, Kurt, from Wolves Fulham last night, but I saw the referee was trending, which is never a great thing. What would Mark Goldbridge 1920 rate United's 21 season out of 10, says Ash G. Based on results, a 7. Definitely based on results. I mean, it brings me into what I was going to talk about before. I tweeted this out today. I don't know whether anyone saw it on @MarkGoldbridge on Twitter. There was some twat, like one of these bloody LUHG twats who hide behind faceless accounts and stir up trouble in the fan base. And they were basically saying, oh, look at Goldbridge's pre-season predictions. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, so before a ball was kicked, I predicted top scorer, top 4 and player of the year. And in March, I'm being ridiculed for it. I mean, hold on a minute. Is there a bloody time-travelling robot that's you're meant to know? The whole point of predicting something before a season starts is that you don't know what's going to happen. But I did predict at the start of the season that United would finish 4th and would struggle. Well, we haven't struggled to get in the top 4 to this point. So I think based on results, it's a 7 out of 10. Based on performance, probably a 5. It's not been great. But results business, says Callum. And it's been a good season from that point of view. And in most areas of life, you get a new contract based on results. You do. Anyway, someone just said, "What were you score?" Well, I will be doing a video reacting to my pre-season predictions. Last year I did quite well. I predicted Liverpool would win the league and a couple of other things as well. But I've had a mare this year. Well, it's not over yet, but I've had a mare. I predicted Liverpool would win the league, Chelsea would come second, Man City would come third, and United would come fourth. I predicted Timo Werner would be top scorer, and I predicted that Havertz would be player of the year. I mean, it looks idiotic now, but at the time, I don't think it did. Chelsea were managed by Lampard at the time. They were lacking a number 9. I did rate Timo Werner, and I thought, he'd get a lot of goals. Havertz, I think, is a fantastic player, and I thought he'd take the Premier League by storm. So, got that one wrong as well. I look an idiot in hindsight, but at the time, I stand by what I said. The only one I'm guilty about is the Man City one. I should have seen that one come in. I should have seen how I didn't think Man City were going to win the league. I don't know. A lot of people did predict Man City would win the league. And in hindsight, I don't know why I didn't predict it, because we've had the weirdest season we've ever had. But it's so logical, isn't it? You look at that Man City bench. They've got 11 good players out today. They've got however many good bench players. This is a season that's going to be compact, where you're going to play 3 times a week for months. Of course, Man City should have been the favourites. They've got a great manager. They've got a great squad. And they've got the best squad to deal with the amount of tournaments that we're in. So I should have predicted Man City. That's the only real mistake I made. The other ones, I stand by them at the start of the season. I don't have a problem with that at all. I think relegation picks were Fulham, West Brom and Leeds. So I got Leeds wrong as well. But you know what? It's like, as I said on Twitter, I'm quite proud of that, because it's like putting a picture up on Instagram without a filter. It's real, no filter. # no filter. I say what I think. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. I stand by it. I'm not planning on doing Grand Theft Auto later, Josh. I might do a bit of Grand Theft Auto at 3 o'clock for like half an hour, but I am actually doing a Grand National watch along, so probably not. Yeah, thanks everyone who's loving the new setup. We've moved the score, made it more of a angle, which is good, which works brilliant when we do the Champions League one, because we get one here as well. That's why we've done it, really. Cross comes in from Leeds, still 0-0. Quite surprised, actually. Farhan says, "Why do you wear glasses regularly now?" Because I'm getting older, mate, and I'm struggling to read the live comments. I really am struggling to read the live comments when I haven't got my glasses on. So, and I get a bit of a headache. It's a shame, isn't it? But I've done all right. I've had 26 years without wearing glasses, so 27 now. So it's just one of them things. I grew up with people who wore glasses. It's not a bad thing. Have you been for your walk, Mark? Says Dara Daly. Yes, I have. I don't think I could have contact lenses, Hugh. I think I'd find them... My wife wears contacts, and sometimes they get... I don't like it. I could get them, but I don't like... I don't actually know if I can have contact lenses with the eye condition I have, because one of my eyes is fine. I presume you can. Chelsea squad is fantastic, Drew. That's why I predicted Chelsea would finish second, because I thought that their contract was brilliant. I tell you what, somebody said that Google says that you're a different age. I'm going to do Goldbridge reacts to Googling himself. I'm going to do a video on my channel about that, because there's some right shit out there. So I think it'd be quite funny to just Google myself and do a video and dispel the myths. Yes, Zero. Everybody makes stupid football. That's the beauty of football, because everybody can come out with a really good, real hot take, but they can also come out with something really stupid as well, which makes it such a great sport, because it's so opinionated. And people get so passionate about it. That's football. Please subscribe. Bottom right hand corner. My prediction was to stay in League One by goal difference. Now it is finish above Arsenal for the Bants. Expecting nothing though from this game and next two, says Robert Dodds, who's a Leeds fan. I don't know who you've got in your next two actually, Robert. Let's have a look. So Leeds, next game you've got Liverpool on Monday the 19th. And then you've got United, haven't you? So 3 big games for Leeds. I bet Bielsa will love it though. He loves... The thing I like about Bielsa is he absolutely loves testing himself in these types of games, doesn't he? And they've done all right in the first half an hour, yeah. But if they could get better players, they'd become a better team, Leeds. They've got the system, they've got the manager. He just needs better players. But I don't know what the financials are at Leeds. United's best game of the season was arguably against Leeds. It suited us so much. Ollie played a blinder against Leeds, didn't he? You know, Fred and McTominay, I think it was Fred, definitely McTominay. We just pushed really high up the pitch and it worked really, really well. Dan James had a field day because there was so much space. So it's probably the one game of the season that suits United because we played a little bit freer. Do you think Fulham can stay up? Says Ninja. I think Fulham have started to lose that momentum a little bit, haven't they, actually? The trouble with Fulham is that they've almost caught up, and now they've stopped, haven't they? Have they lost their last 4 as well? So that's the problem. I mean, Newcastle have out their last 5 games, Newcastle have drawn 4 and lost 1, and Fulham have lost 4 and won 1. So they're 3 points off Newcastle, but Newcastle have got 2 games in hand. Brighton have got 2 games in hand. Fulham are in shit, really, because Fulham have played 32 games, but they're still 3 points off Newcastle, who've played 30. So I think Fulham look like they're in trouble. I think the bottom 3 are going to be the bottom 3. Fulham, West Brom and Sheffield United. There's still points there, but I think that will be the 3 that go down. Yeah, I mean, Sheffield United are going to go down. I'm surprised they've not been relegated yet. Sheffield United, what? They're 15 points from safety with 24 to play. So it's not going to be long before Sheffield United are relegated. Cross comes in, headed over the bar there. I think it was Ferran Torres again. He's had 2 good chances in this game. Thoughts on Man United being in on midfielder Ryan Gravenberch at Ajax is AJ Flores. I've not heard about this, mate. But good player, but managed by Raiola again. When are United going to start building a future away from Mino Raiola? Do they never learn? Do they never learn of what happens when you get a Mino Raiola client? They don't want to stay for very long. What did you think of the PSG Bayern game? Probably the best game I've ever seen of this season. But you're not going to catch me out with one of the most basic traps with your name ever. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. I'd be ashamed. You know what? If people try to bait me, and they bait me, fair play, you get your little clip. But if you try to bait me with a rubbish name, I will call you out. So he's tried to catch me with something he knows I'll talk about. What do you think of the PSG Bayern game? Good trap. You know I'm going to talk about it. Good question. But the name of this person is Eat, first name, and then the second name is spelled Mikock. I mean, you'd have to be a twat to read that out. You'd have to be really thick. I'm not that gullible. Oh, he said something I want to talk about. I'm just going to read his name without reading it in my head first. Maybe try Robbie. He'll read it. He loves it. He doesn't like that name. I'm not saying he likes eating that, but he loves reading out the obvious. I think he does it on purpose, to be honest, but he can't. He's not that thick. I know Robbie quite well. He's not that thick. Nice ball into Zinchenko on the left-hand side. Cut back. Oh, Leeds are hanging on a little bit here now. Man City's quality is just starting to shine through. And Sterling, with a carbon copy of a shot 15 minutes ago, shoots exactly the same. Mark, Andrew C. Pal, these are my wayward predictions for next season. United out of the top 4. Arsenal to finish 12th. Burnley to get relegated. And Liverpool to win the Prem. Your prediction for United versus Spurs tomorrow, says Guitar Boy. I think that I think Spurs are going to win. I think I said 3-1. I mean, that's a good point from Andrew C. I mean, we'll never remember this. I'm not going to write it down, and I'm certainly not going to bookmark the video. But if you want my prediction for top 4 next season, I think that I think it's going to be very interesting to see what Liverpool do, actually. I think I'd probably predict Man City next year, because I think Man City are going to do something in the transfer market with a number 9 that will make them even better. They're very good defensively and they've got a brilliant midfield. So I'd still say Man City next season. Their squad is just ridiculous. I personally think that it's hard to pick the top 4 next year. Man City, I think Chelsea and Liverpool will be close. And then 4th place should be United. So yeah, I'd say City win the league, United 4th. Chelsea, Liverpool is hard to call. This could be the beginning of the end for Klopp at Liverpool, or it could just be a blip. But I think Chelsea will be better next year. And again, it depends what Chelsea are going to do. If Chelsea go and get a brilliant number 9 and a brilliant centre-back, it's hard to see them not doing any better now that they've got a stable manager. Animesh says, is Rashford better than Sterling? Well, I certainly wouldn't swap Sterling for Rashford, but I think many people would take Sterling over Rashford, but I wouldn't. Reese is right as well. It also depends on what Liverpool, Man United, Man City and Chelsea do in the transfer market as well. Of course it does. I love how the way Bielsa's stool has sponsors on it now. Oh, what a run this is by Fernandinho. Sterling! Wow, come on. He's not having a good day today, Sterling, isn't he? He's got a score there. It's a lovely run by Fernandinho. He cuts it back to Sterling, and he's missed it. Bloody idiot. What have I done? You should have scored that, Sterling, I reckon. I still think United will go in for Sancho. 3v3 here for Man City. They've definitely been the better side in the last few minutes. Sterling picks it up on the left-hand side. 5 minutes to go to half-time. And another crap ball by Sterling. He's having a bad game, Sterling, so far. He'll probably score a second half. He'll probably score a second half hat-trick, you know. Man City too good not to... Mohammed says Man City are too good, cannot see past Liverpool being with them for the title next season. That's Mohammed Idris. Kirkham says Mino will probably have most of the world-class players and youth players soon, so I'd have got no choice. I think that's the danger, Kirkham. I think you're right. Thank you for the contribution from Samuel Sharma. And Mark, reason why I said Liverpool to win the Prem is because crowds will be back and City may not have the hunger anymore if they win the quadruple, says Andrew C. Oh yeah, I hope they don't. Thanks for all the super chats that are coming in. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Would you rather take a punch from Prime Mike Tyson or play 7 minutes? I don't know what that is, Georgie. I don't know. I'm moving on from silly comments that I don't know what they mean. Mark's got an agenda against Leicester, says Michelle. I've been accused of having quite a few agendas, but that's the first time I've been accused of having an agenda against Leicester. Somebody was asking for Grand National tips there, if anyone knows of any. Abbas channel. Sterling or Mane? Mane for me. Bamford. Oh, is it? Oh, what a goal! What a goal that is! Lovely goal for Leeds. It's Dallas. Rest in peace, JR. It's 1-0 to Leeds, and it's a cracking goal by Dallas. He smashes it in from the edge of the box against the post. It looks like it's going to come out, but it doesn't. It angles in. Long ball forward. Leeds chase it down. Stones, I think, gets caught underneath it. No, it's Cancelo. And it comes back to the edge of the box. Bamford lays it off to Dallas and bang into the bottom corner. What a hit. And it's Leeds 1-0 and this game has come alive. 1-0 to Leeds. Told you that. Well, I didn't tell you Leeds would win, but I told you it'd be a decent game. Unstoppable hit. Unstoppable hit. United 3-0 win tomorrow, I think, says Florian. And Mark, as a United fan, you must be worried this Man City team can overshadow that United team with the quadruple, says Ollie Spencer. I mean, look, I don't want City to win the quadruple, and I mean Leeds. I don't think Leeds will win this game, but even if they did, it's not going to stop Leeds. It's not going to stop City winning the title. There's no team good enough to stop City winning the title at this point. But I do hope that somebody can stop them winning the Champions League. Of course I do, but. Martin says, are Man United's title hopes still on? No. The gap's too big. Too big. He's giving him a yellow card here for following through on Jesus. Let's have a look at this. Cooper. No, he gets the bloody ball. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's a bit reckless, but he gets the bloody ball. The game's gone, Paddy. Paddy says he got the ball. The game's gone. He gets the bloody ball and Jesus goes into his foot. You know, if you play football, you're going to get hurt. Football. You know, it might hurt you sometimes. Some people are saying it's a red. Get out. It's never a bloody red, this. Haters are going to hate. He gets the ball. If he doesn't get the ball, maybe there's a red card there, but he kicks the ball. He's kicking the ball. His eyes are on the ball. It's going to hurt. It's definitely going to hurt Jesus, but there's no intention to catch the player there. He's kicked the ball. Sometimes you get hurt. Sometimes you get hurt. Oh, he's going to review it. He's going to review it. He's going to review it. He gets the ball. That is not a red card. It's just, it looks nasty, but look at him. He kicks the ball. That's not a red card. If Andre Mariner goes red for that, kicks the fucking ball. You've never played the game before. That is a disgrace. If he gives him a red for that, he's a bloody idiot. You don't give a red for that. He's kicked the ball. You're looking at something in slow motion for a start. If he gives a red there, the game's gone. He's giving him a red. He's giving him a red. He's giving him a fucking red. Get out. Forget football. Everybody go home. That is a bloody disgrace. That is a joke. That is an absolute joke. These people don't play the game. That is never a red. It's never a red. Sometimes things happen and they look bad. He's kicked the ball with no eye on the player. That is a bloody joke. An absolute disgrace of the highest order. That is never a red. I've played this game for 30 years. That is not a red card. The intention is not there to hit the player. Look at his eyes. He's gone looking where the ball's gone. That is not a red card. Disgrace. Disgrace. The game is gone. That's maths teachers. That's maths teachers. That's idiots who had never played the game ruling that a red card. No intention at all to hurt him. He's got the ball. That is a disgrace. I'm sorry. Look, people are going to disagree. The Man City lads are going to come and the Man City girls are going to come in and they're going to go, it's a disgrace. We don't want that in the game. I've played football. I've been studded down the whole length of my leg. I've nearly broken my bloody shin from tackles before. Some of them have been intentional, some of them not. But that's not intentional. He's took the ball and his foot, as he's took the ball, has gone through onto Jesus. Of course it's going to hurt him. It could have broken his bloody leg. But it's not intentional. It's not serious play. He's gone to win the bloody ball. It's a joke. The game's gone. The game's absolutely gone. You cannot... Basically, you're saying now, don't make a tackle, because if you go through, you might hurt somebody. And then it's reckless. You basically... What that says to the rest of the footballing world now is, you've got to think about whether you're going to make a tackle, because what if you make that tackle and it hurts the other player? Joke. Absolute joke. Never a red. Never a red. And you know what? The biggest problem is these pricks who are refereeing these games are constantly making stupid errors. How many times has Andre Mariner played football? How many times the twat behind the computer played football? They are bloody boffins. They're maths teachers managing our emotions in football games. I'm not a Leeds fan. I'm a bloody Man United fan. I couldn't give a shit if Leeds lose. But that, to me, is unpreventable in the future of our game. You're basically going to have to say now, in a 50-50 challenge, probably don't go in for the tackle, because if you catch them wrong, you're sent off and we're going to lose the 3 points. And 3 points in a Premier League game could be worth millions to us. So, ridiculous. I know people are going to disagree. Welcome to the channel. That's what it's all about. But I'm absolutely convinced that's not. Joshua Bowater says, I'm sorry, but if that's a red card, you've got to give him a red every time a player accidentally stands on another's foot when he's trying to make a tackle. If that's a red, then Raheem Sterling should get a red when he stamped on Rafinha, which he didn't even bloody do. So, you know, that's the thing. If that's a red, Sterling should get a red because he stamped, he trod on, in fact, I'm going to tweet it, because it's absolutely right. Both nasty, both unintentional. It's a disgrace. It's an absolute bloody disgrace. And the fact that we're arguing about it shows you that it's not clear cut. So, you know, the game's gone soft, says Nicholas Iron. It has. It absolutely has. And look, I've got no time for Man City fans anyway, because you don't even know who Sean Goater is. If I said Georgie King-Clancy, you'd probably think it's a singer. You know, you've got no idea about your history of your club. But if you've actually got a brain, you would have won this game against 11 men. You're definitely going to win it now. But what my point is against Manchester City is that if on Wednesday night, in the first 10 minutes, John Stones goes into a tackle like that against Jadon Sancho and gets sent off, you're going to lose your shit. So don't come at us going, oh, it's definitely a red, because I tell you what, I hope John Stones does do something like that on Wednesday night and he does get sent off in the first 10 minutes and you do get knocked out, because you'll all be moaning like a bunch of bitches. The reality is sometimes you've got to take your blue tinted glasses off and look at it in a game sense. Now, I don't want Jesus to get injured. I don't want that. But what I do want is the game that I love to be played in the right way. And I think that there takes the game away. And what I also would say as well is, this is in slow motion. It's the same thing happened with Digne. and it got wrote off. The same thing happened with Digne for Everton against Southampton a few months ago. In slow motion, he's running off like that, and he tramples on the back of the Southampton foot, and it looks really nasty, but it's in slow motion. Like, he has never played. Andre Mariner is I'm furious, and I don't even like Leeds. I'm furious by it because it's just, you can't manage a game in slow motion. Why is he watching it in slow motion? Life's not in slow motion. Why are you watching why do they show it in slow motion? This is one of the most idiotic things about VAR. They show things in slow motion. Life's not lived in slow motion. If Cooper's playing in slow motion and he's gone in and done that, of course it looks bad. There's so much more time to think. In real time, it's like, there's the ball, bang, I've gone through. It's over. It's over. So why do they watch it in slow motion? It's absolute. And Mariner's there going, that actually does look. Can I have another angle in slow motion? Oh yeah, I tell you what, it does look reckless. You're watching it in slow motion, you prat. You're absolutely. If you eat in slow motion, you'd lose some weight. Because, I'm not talking about Andre Mariner, but what I'm saying is, if I eat a Big Mac and chips in slow motion, I'm only going to eat half of it, aren't I? Because I'm like, Life's not done in slow motion. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And the reason it's a joke is because it's football. It's not Man City. It's not Leeds. I don't like Leeds. I don't like Man City. But it's football. It's football. That's the problem I've got here. It's football. I think about England in the Euros. I think about Bayern Munich against PSG. I think about Man United against Spurs tomorrow. If that tackle happens, every time now you're like, shit, that he might go for that. You know, you can't do a full-blooded tackle. It's poor. It's really poor. And of course there's going to be people saying it's a red card. Some of them will be doing it. Some of them will be going like Saka. They'll be doing it in capitals just because they want to get blocked. But some people will be doing it because they're Man City fans. Some people will be doing it because they're thick and they'll be going, well, it's in slow motion, it looks bad. Life's not in slow motion. But the vast majority of people will go, that's a great tackle. Football's a physical sport. You know what? You probably can't get away with it now, but about 20 years ago, you probably would go through after that just to let him know that you're here. Like, that when I was growing up, that was a brilliant tackle. Stuart Pearce made a career out of that, get the ball and get the player. That was part of it. But nowadays, you can't even get the ball and unintentionally get the player. You're off. Weird. Let's have a look at some of your comments. Joke, City need more in their defence. So if they disagree with you, they're morons. No, but they're not doing stupid comments about in capital letters. What's the point? They don't add anything to it. Ian Grant says the art of tackling is gone out of modern football and it's very sad. I think that's what bothers me the most as well. High foot above the knee, very dangerous play. Red. Jonathan, what are you talking about? High foot above the knee? He kicks the bloody ball before he hits a. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind him at bloody American bloody military should sign him up. He can get the ball and also hit the player on the knee. Are you having a laugh? How good do you think Cooper is? You actually think at that pace, at that level, you can get the ball and hit the player's knee? What a bloody joke. At the most, you're sending him off for unintentionally doing it. You cannot intentionally win a ball and get the player's leg at that speed. You can't do it. It just can't be done. So if you're saying he's done it on purpose, you're an absolute prat. Impossible that he's done that on purpose. The only reason he's been sent off is because it's reckless. And if you want that as part of your game, you're going to get a lot of red cards from now on for things that you think are a good tackle and they're going to get sent off. And as I said, if he's sent off for that, why is Raheem Sterling not sent off for stamping on Rafinha's ankle? Oh, no, he didn't stamp on him on purpose. Well, I don't think Cooper did that on purpose. So this is where the game's gone for me. Rafinha gets stamped on by Sterling unintentionally, but it's reckless. Why is he on the pitch? The contradiction is there. And this is the problem with handballs now. We've had so many handballs that we think are handballs that now we don't know whether they are handballs. And now we've got fouls that we don't know whether they are fouls. So you can unintentionally catch a player and get sent off. So why is Raheem Sterling on the pitch? He trod on bloody Rafinha's ankle unintentionally. The contradiction it just ruins the game for me. Mr. says, well, I'm not wrong because it's my opinion, so I'm not reading that bit out. But he says, awful tackle, can't tackle like that. Could have broke his leg. I thought it was a red live, not with slow motion. Well done to you. You're in the minority, but well done for having an opinion. Thanks for your super chat. Half of your fans don't even watch the game. They just eat up what you say. Well, I don't know what you're on about, you Man City fan. Who's Georgie Kincladsey? Tell me who Georgie Kincladsey is without Googling, and I'll have a little bit of respect. I'll have a little bit of respect for you. You modern, glory-supporting, oil-bathing twat. Mark, you said he could have broken his leg, but it's not serious play, says Victor. But he could have broken Rafinha's ankle. Like, coulda, woulda, shoulda. Just because you could have broke. So are we changing the game now? The reality is, look, I know I overreact to things, but you're not listening to what I say. I'm telling you now, he could have broken Jesus' leg, but I could tackle someone tomorrow and break their leg. It doesn't mean I need to I do it on purpose. People pull hamstrings. Like, he could have broken Rafinha's ankle. Nobody would have said a word. They would have gone, oh, that's unlucky. The biggest contradiction is in that game. Raheem Sterling stands on Rafinha's ankle, and it's not even a yellow card. So how is it that you can then go into the other one and say, well, it's just a worse tackle? I think if you're going to have a debate, you don't have to agree with people, but you've got to have something to back it up. And if you're going to say, well, he could have broke his leg, Raheem Sterling could have broke Rafinha's ankle. So what are you going to? It's different. Yeah, it's different because you just want to be different. You're not actually looking at it. But we're going to watch it back. We're going to watch it back because maybe I've missed something. And if I've missed something, I will retract. And the great thing about life is it's life with no filter. I don't filter my Instagram photos. I just put it out there. And if I've got it wrong, I'll say I've got it wrong. I'm not stubborn. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But I'm going to watch it again now. And if I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. But I don't think I am. I don't think I am. And to be honest with you, does that not make it even worse? Because if I have to look at it again and say it is a red, it shows you how debatable it bloody is. It's not clear cut. So let's have a look at this red card. Let's have a look. Well, they're not going to show the Raheem Sterling one. He definitely gets the ball. Well, it looks terrible in slow motion, exactly. It does look terrible in slow motion. I mean, look, having calmed down a bit, I will retract a little bit and say it looks bad. It looks bad, but we're all watching it in slow motion, and I think that's... I don't think it's a red. I don't think it's a red. I'm not going to change my mind. Thomas Duffy says, the game is gone. Eyes fixated on the ball. Had no intention to catch the player. It was a proper tackle that we all used to love. Game's gone soft. And I think that, I will concede that the game has changed. And look, I'm of an age where I'm not 18. I wish I was. I'm not 15. I'm not 28. I'm a little bit older than that. And I remember football differently. And times move on. And some of you will say that's a definite red card. You can't do that. Maybe I'm harking back to the past. I'll submit that. But for me, I don't think that's a red card. I don't think... I've played football. Yes, he's high. Yes, he's out of control. And that is reckless, I have to say. But there's not an intention to do that. He's winning the ball. That's what he's doing. And I think that when you are a team in that situation, look, I suppose the biggest explanation I can give is that I would have done it. I definitely would have done it because you're a centre back against their striker. You've got an opportunity to win the ball and put a bit of a challenge in on the ball. And if he wants a bit, he wants a bit. It's a 50-50 challenge, isn't it? I suppose the reality is, if he doesn't go in like that and Jesus knocks it past him, everyone's going to go, he's got to make a challenge. You're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. And I think the game has just moved on. But the big thing for me is that I couldn't give a shit what Rio Ferdinand says, Jason. Rio Ferdinand has come out with a load of shit before, so I don't. He's not my boy, and I don't care what Roy Keane says. I don't care what Gary Neville says. I don't care what Paul Scholes says. They talk a lot of sense, and they also talk a lot of stuff I don't agree with. So I don't do your boy. I do my opinion, and that's what everybody should do in life. So I don't give a shit what he says. I personally think that everyone's watching it in slow motion, and I think that makes it look worse. I think he's got every right to go for that tackle, and I personally don't like football with those sort of decisions in it. But if you do, you're right. You've won the argument. I don't agree with it. But look, I'm overruled, so we move on. Leeds fan here, absolute Joe. The slow motion makes it look horrid and allows the mugs on Twitter to have a field day. Look in real time and it's never a red. All he's done is follow through. Well, I mean, what I would say is, Freddie, I suppose, look, let's try and calm the conversation down here, because people are going to go, ha, you're wrong. Well, I'm not wrong. I am wrong because the decision's been made. But I suppose one of the things I always used to get asked in relation to when I used to work in evidence and stuff like that is, all right, if that's wrong, what would you have done? What could he have done differently? How's he going to win that ball when it's bouncing without doing what he did? The only thing, and I think that's something to bear in mind. All right, let's pretend it is a red card. It's a red card challenge. It's reckless. What's that player supposed to do to not do that? Is it just an inevitable red card then? What is he supposed to do? Because the only way he's winning that ball is by diving into the tackle. And if he doesn't dive into the tackle, Jesus has got the momentum to knock it past him and run, because they're running opposite ways. The goal's that way. He's going that way. Jesus has got momentum. He goes past him. Surely, as any defender, whether it's a Leeds player, a Man City defender, whatever, you've got to go and win that ball. How else can he win that ball? He's stretching. He wins it. He hits the player he's sent off. If he doesn't stretch and he doesn't do it, he's out of the game and Jesus runs through. So I suppose you've got to look at it from that point of view. What do you want him to do differently? Because I'm not having it that he's gone into that tackle to do anything other than win the ball in a desperate situation. He's got to be desperate because he's stretching. So what is he supposed to do? And that's the thing. All right, it's a red card. Man City fans say it's a red card. A lot of other fans say it's a red card. But what is he supposed to do? Would you want your centre-back to stand and do nothing? In hindsight, okay, let them score because you're going to get sent off for 45 minutes. But what is a professional competitive sportsman meant to do in that situation? Because there's no other tackle he can do. He's got to do it. And it's all right, Rio or Lescott or any of you lot saying, he's out of control, he shouldn't do it. Well, I'd love to see Rio Ferdinand just stand there like a statue when he was playing for United and just go, well, there's nothing I could do. I'd be out of control if I did it. You got to do it. You got to do it. Would you love an oil bath? The ref gave a yellow in real play, but in slow-mo and a different angle, it's a clear red. That's what the ref did. And I think that's what drove my frustration about that. Is the referee's a lot closer than us. He's seen it in real time and he's given a yellow card. And he's given a yellow card because, let's be honest, if Jesus is in a different position and avoids it, it's not even a yellow card. It's only because he catches Jesus on the way through that he's given a yellow. VAR's gone, you might want to look at that because we've looked at it in slow motion. He comes over and looks at it slow motion, it's a red. You can't live life in slow motion. You can't. For some things it's important, if you haven't seen the tackle or if it's an offside. But when you've seen the tackle, when you've seen the ball be tackled, and then you go yellow and then you go red, I don't know. We're going to disagree, and I think that's the brilliant thing about football. The difference between the Sterling and Cooper tackle is that Rafinha dived in for the ball and he exposed himself to the risk of getting stamped. I think that's poor, Adam, but there you go. Anyway, second half, surely Man City will take this game away. Surely they'll take it away with 10 men. It's a perfect scenario for Manchester City. Thankfully, Aguero, there he is. He's running around, Jesus. I thought he might have needed to be subbed off, mate. I thought he'd nearly killed you. Oh, it was a season-ending tackle. Oh, it's a miracle. It must be Easter weekend wrong. Jesus is back on the pitch. I thought he'd been split in two by that tackle. He's back on the pitch. It's not even a Sunday, and it's a week too late. Jesus has resurrected. He's fine. There's nothing wrong with him. Somebody made a really good point there, and I'm not going to avoid it. If it was Bruno, how would you react? you know what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a club. Then, like, you know, that's not even a pragmatic approach. If that's on Bruno, I am 100%. I'm going to go. That's a red card because it's my team. You blinkered when it's your team. But Man City ain't my team and Leeds ain't my team, and Man City losing this game doesn't really matter. So I'm looking at that. I think even if that's John Stones, I'm going to stick up for him. It's not about club rivalry because I don't like Leeds. That to me is just about poor refereeing decisions. And I'm sure if I watched the Wolves Fulham game last night, there's probably a decision there because it was trending that I would say, you know, it's a joke. If it's on a Man United player, of course I'm going to stick up for a Man United player because that's just bias. That's club bias. I actually understand why Man City fans are saying it. But what I'm saying to Man City fans is, if that happens to you in the first 10 minutes against Dortmund on Wednesday, I know I'd bet every pound I've got that if that happens to Man City against Dortmund in the first 10 minutes on Wednesday, they're going to say the game's gone, it's an absolute disgrace, he's gone for the ball. Because it's club bias. That's what happens. But the neutral, looking at that, for me, I think it's wrong. But it's gone. It's gone. But you could flip it the other way. If that tackle happens to Bruno, I'm going to say it's a red card. If Harry Maguire does it, I'm going to go worse than I've gone there. I'm going to go nuclear and say it's not. Bradley says, if Jesus is staring at an open goal and Cooper makes the same tackle, the card wouldn't be given. There's no consistency, and to be honest with you, I don't want any consistency in relation to tackles like that because we're going to get loads of red cards every bloody week. And we will see a 50-50 tackle in this half, and I'll say, well, that could be a red if he catches him. Because ultimately, the only reasons it's a red is because he catches him. There's nothing wrong with the tackle. It's because he catches the player on his way through. It's just bad luck. Because if he makes that tackle and doesn't catch Jesus, they wouldn't have given a red. They wouldn't have even given a yellow. So what they're basically saying is that there's a massive inconsistency there, isn't there, really? Because he's only been sent off because he catches Jesus. If he doesn't catch Jesus, there's no screaming of pain and there's no foul. So at the end of the day, it's bad luck. But I mean, there's one here. Is this not a red card as well? Let's have a look. Stones goes through. No, it's not reckless, but it's a foul on Stones. What I'm saying is it's very hard in football now to know what is what because basically you can go for a 50-50 and if you catch a player in the bad way, you could be deemed as being reckless. The Digne one against Southampton was a prime example. I don't think that Leeds one will get overturned because it's too contentious. But would Leeds be able to outscore City with 10 men because City would now go on the front foot? City have spilled oil on the grass, says Shanak. Well, it's not. I mean, to be fair, it's not Man City's fault, and it's not Man City fans' fault. I've got no problem with Man City fans saying it's a definite red because I would say it's a definite red if it would happen to United. This is down to the referee again. It's down to the referee. This is the second time in a week, second time in a few days that Man City, to me, have benefited massively, but they're not refereeing the games, are they? You know, Bellingham scored a good goal, chalked off, and he gets a yellow card. Leeds have a man sent off when they're 1-0 up. I think it's down to referees again. The refereeing standard is shit, but it's always been a bit like that. VAR is killing this game. It's not a red. Jesus isn't hurt, says Mitchell. There's more contact in my high school soccer days in America. The game is being destroyed, says Mitchell Costello. I'm 23. I'm sick of this snowflake society. Now he's won the ball and caught the player. Never a red card. Maybe in snowflake land, but not real life, says Luke Darling. Thanks for the super chats, everybody. It's the same as Soucek and the elbow incident. Yeah, there's been some stupid red cards this season. But look, you know, I don't blame Man City fans because I've calmed down a little bit. Of course, if it happened to Bruno, I would say it was a red card because you're gonna be biased, aren't you? You're always biased, even if it's a soft penalty. Wow, yeah, he's caught him slightly, so I get that. But in a footballing sense, it's just very, very sad. But it's done, isn't it? But but the biggest thing is that I can't believe they watch it in slow motion. Like, why are you watching it in slow motion? It's the most funny thing in the world. Why are you analysing something in slow motion when life isn't slow motion? Like, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous, isn't it? Like, I used to, Saturday night, city centre, you come into work on a Sunday morning, there's people in the cells because they've been locked up for fighting. Is there any CCTV? Yeah, so you watch the CCTV before you interview them. And you'll watch it, and there'll be a guy in the cells because he's knocked somebody out on the street outside a pub. And you can play, you watch the punch and you're like, wow, that was quick. You watch it in slow motion and it's like, oh, that's devastating. Look at when he catches his face and he goes like that. Oh, that's disgusting. But then you realise I'm watching it in bloody slow motion here. Of course it's still the same punch, but it's the impact in slow motion is far more impactful than in real time, because real time is real time. I haven't had my lunch yet, Luke Richards. Anyway, it ruined my Dallas celebration. There's somebody on Twitter who's put, Goldbridge said the game's gone soft, leg breaking challenges soft, and I mean this is I love this, I absolutely love this. So they're showing the point of contact of the contact on Jesus, right? Well, you've just took a freeze frame. Like, there's 100 freeze frames of me today that could make me look like I'm doing something that's not real. You can't live your life in freeze frame and you can't live your life in slow motion. Like, you just can't. You've got to live it in the real world. Anyway, we need to move on. We've got a game of football going on here. The good news is that there's a team that can score with 10 men against City. It's Leeds, hopefully, says Michel Costello. It'll be Jesus who scores as well. I'm doing a Grand National watch along at 4 o'clock. The race is at just after 5, so I will have the second half of Villa and Liverpool on, and I'm doing a Q&A, but it's on the Paddy Power channel. The link's in the video description if you want to join me for that. WrestleMania's tomorrow night. I'm not doing tonight's WrestleMania, I'm doing tomorrow night. So, do you rate Jesus? No, I don't. I think he's just a Brazilian Josh King. I'm absolutely amazed that Pep Guardiola's never bought a decent number 9, probably because he had Sergio Aguero, to be honest. But there's no way in a million years Pep's going to replace Aguero with Jesus next season, because he's crap. He'll score, though. He'll score a tap-in. I mean, I reckon, good save. I reckon if I played up front for... That's reckless. That's a red card. That's a red card. He could have broken his arm. Why is that not a red card then? That's twice Sterling's done this now. He's accidentally injured Leeds players twice. Is this not the protocol for a red? Watch this. Could have took his arm off. Oh, that's a red. He could have kicked his head off. That's a red. How's that not a red for Sterling then? Keeper's clearly got the ball. Sterling goes try to win it and kicks him in the face, in the hand. That's a red. That's reckless. He could have ended his career. He might never write an email again. Look at that. Oh, that's disgraceful. That's a red. How's that not a red? Oh my God. That is a disgrace. I am actually being sarcastic, by the way. Let's see how the Twitter doesn't do sarcastic. But you see what I mean? This is where it becomes a little bit stupid because you just what's reckless? The ball's not there to be won and he goes in. That's a definite red, reckless challenge by that. He could have broke his pinky. Finger bone, says Luke Darling. Do you think Leeds could push for top 6 next season if they make a couple of signings, says Joseph Meston? Oh, look, I've said this before. I think there are people out there that are very, very, very arrogant about Bielsa ball. They're like, oh, Bielsa ball's so good, yet United scored 6 against him. Look at the quality of player he's doing it with. Look, as a Manchester United fan, obviously I back Solskjaer, but don't ever tell me that Solskjaer's brand of football is anywhere near as good as Bielsa. And I think Bielsa plays a better brand of football than Tuchel. I think he plays a better football than Mourinho. He just hasn't... I mean, his squad is nothing... His first team is not even as good as the bench of Spurs. So I think if Leeds had 2 or 3 real quality players, then Leeds would be higher up the league. I think he's a fantastic coach. There's no guarantee that better players make Leeds better because maybe Bielsa suits these sort of players. But yeah, he's a brilliant manager. He's a brilliant manager and he plays a very good football. Just wait till the Twitter army have a field day with sarcasm there. I've done it on purpose, Sam. They'll go mad. But they're going to burn, not me, because I know it's sarcasm. Jesus is better than Martial. This season, you're probably right. Gundogan's coming on. Gundogan, sorry. Sean Dyche, you'd love Cooper. I'd love Cooper to play with Tarkowski. No messing about. You'd have no players on the pitch though, Sean. You'd be down to 10 men. You'd be down to 8 men after 10 minutes. Sean Dyche is going mad. Sean, what do you think about the red card? Well, it's a bloody disgrace. It's a disgrace. Football's gone. And I was just chewing on my gravel. And I saw that tackle by Cooper and I was celebrating. I had my towel around my head. I was in the shower. And he's been sent off. For what? I'm going to be relegated next season. We're going to get big fines. The game's gone, Sean. The game has gone. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right hand corner. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I told you it would be an eventful game, this. People are like, I don't know why you're doing this. It's a boring game. You never know. And I just think that the way these two teams play football, it's been entertaining in that sense, but we've also been delivered an absolute controversial decision, haven't we? Here's Rafinha. Lovely play by Rafinha. That's a foul. Fucking hell. He's useless, Andre Mariner. How is that not a foul when Fernandinho stands in his way? I mean, he's got to be on. What is Andre Mariner on? Is he running round in Man City boxer shorts or something? Like, he literally stands in his way. I don't know how he doesn't give the foul. I mean, I'm perplexed here. How does he not give a foul when Rafinha knocks the ball past Fernandinho and Fernandinho stands in his way? Thanks, Sean Stanley. How can it be a dive when the player makes contact with him? Do people understand what a dive is? A dive is when there's no contact. Like he stands in his way, he skins Fernandinho, and Fernandinho turns his back on him and puts his arm up. It's a foul. Exactly, Lewis. If the Stones one's a foul, that's a foul. There's been a couple of them today. Do 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 do. Cross comes in. Well, I tell you what, we've had 15 minutes of the second half and it's still not a goal for Man City. course, Man City have just got so much quality that they can bring on. Stones hits it. Straight at the keeper. Do I want Leeds to win? Well, I do want Leeds to win anyway, but not because... The only reason I want Leeds to win is because I want them to, go above Arsenal. I think it'd be funny, but I don't like Leeds as a United fan. I understand the rivalry between Leeds and Manchester United, but it's a bit like Liverpool and United, isn't it? Liverpool and United. The rivalry is real. It's a proper rivalry, and in that sense, you sort of... There's not a respect there, but there is a little bit, if you know what I mean. But in the context of this game, of course I want Leeds to win, because I just think they've been robbed. But do I think they'll win? No. I can't see how they can win this one. Mark, why can't I do super chats on United Stand anymore? I don't know, Sean, because you're not blocked. And would you take Ings at United, says Ben Sayers. I would. If he was happy to be our backup striker, I would. Are you looking forward to WrestleMania, says Oliver Smith. I'm looking forward to the Fiend against Randy Orton, and I'm looking forward to the 3-way with the Edge. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I used to really like wrestling. It could be my comeback. But then again, it could just be a one-night only thing, like Super Bowl. I'm not going to watch American football till the next Super Bowl, but I enjoyed it. I really did. Sterling with the cross. Keeper does well. Ings would start for United, says Claire McDonald. I don't think he's better than Cavani, to be fair. Man United. The problem is, some Man United fans think that Cavani's not very good. There's no service. It's what I said at the start of the show. It's so funny that people make out that they watch United when they clearly don't, because all these prats saying, "Oh yeah, we need to get Haaland or Kane." They're not watching us play football. What's Haaland going to do for Man United? What's Harry Kane going to do for United? Our problem is not our number 9. We're not creating loads of chances for our number 9. We're not getting the ball into the feet of our number 9 for them to create anything. We're such a dead football team in relation to tempo and movement of the ball into the front 3. I don't care whether you got Harry Kane. I don't care whether you got Harry Potter. They're not going to perform and produce anything with the way we're playing at the moment. So I think Cavani's a good player. I just don't think he gets any service. So it's funny how United are obsessed with buying a striker when it's almost... I'm almost scared about United being linked to Harry Kane and Haaland, because I'm like, how bad is Manchester United Football Club run? I mean, are they sat in the boardroom going, let's buy the best striker there is, because that means more goals and then we'll win the title? Like, you need a team. You need a team. Man City are the other way. They've got Jesus playing at number 9. I don't think he's that good. I do think he's the Brazilian Josh King. But there's so much quality around him that if you give Jesus 3 or 4 chances, he's going to score one of them, isn't he? And he will. United are trying to do it the other way. Let's get the great number 9 and put a crap team around him. So I think the way Pep does it is very good. His number 9 isn't one of the best number 9s in the world, but the team around him means that there'll be lots of chances and he'll get a few tap-ins. I'd score goals for Man City. If I'm watching other games, I always go by this. If it's a ball first, it's fine most of the time. Cooper's challenge for me is a yellow, Max as a City fan. Well, I tell you what, I applaud you as a City fan, because I actually haven't got a problem with City fans saying it's a red card, because if it happened against Bruno Fernandes, I would say it's a red card. That doesn't mean it is a red card. It's just club bias, and you can't escape club bias. If it happens to if Harry Maguire does the tackle, I'm saying it's not a red. It's club bias, but I'm looking at that as a pure football fan. Nothing against Man City, because I don't really like Leeds much either, and I'm saying, nah, the game's gone. It's not it's not, for me, it's not a red, but I understand why my Man City fans think it is. Chris Jones says, Man United problems is not a striker or a defender. It's Ollie and the slow moving of the ball and using his favouritism on players. I'm Ollie out, says Chris Jones. Just a little bit of a reminder, I've dropped the link in the video description. I have put my Twitch in there as well, but that's irrelevant. I do Grand Theft Auto on there. 4 o'clock this afternoon, I'm doing a Grand National watch along on the Paddy Power YouTube channel. The first hour is going to be a bit of a Q&A, and then I'm doing the Grand National at 5 o'clock. So join me on there from 4 o'clock. I will have Liverpool Villa on as well. I'll be keeping an eye on that. Certainly the second half of it, but you can get your questions in. We'll be talking general stuff, and then the Grand National watch along as well. So tune in for that. Links in the video description. Looking forward to your company if you're going to join me. Declan Rice is a Goldbridge fan. Mark will bring Rice home. Well, I don't know whether that's true. I doubt it, but I think he'd be brilliant for Manchester United, and I think he would be. I think he'd become a United great, probably become a United captain. Is there anything better in the world than that? There's not much better than that. You know, you might say being the number 10 for Barcelona. You might say, you know, but I think being the leader of Manchester United Football Club, not many people can say that. Harry Maguire can. Oh yeah, this could be another red. He's reckless. Alioski dives into a tackle, catches the player, could have broken his leg the way he fell. Definitely a yellow. You might go and check if it's a red, Andre. Could be a red. Let's have a look. Oh, that could have been a red. He's late. But you know what I mean, though? Seriously, you watch it in slow motion. If he catches the player, why is it not a red? You know, it's just... Basically, it's not about the tackle. It's about the reaction of the player. Because that could have been a red. If he caught him on the ankle and broke his ankle, well, it should be a red. It's reckless. The problem with it is, and the problem I have with it is, it's a total hypocritical thing. Because you're not... Every tackle's basically reckless. What you're actually saying is, the description of it's wrong. You're not sending him off for a reckless tackle. You're sending him off for the consequence of the tackle. If you are unlucky enough to catch them on their knee or their ankle and it could have broken it, then you are going to get a red card. If you don't catch them in the right place, then you're not going to get a card. That's basically what we're talking about. This whole he's out of control, it's a red. That's bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. He's out of it. The Leeds player Alioski's out of control there as he slides into the ground. He doesn't get the ball, he gets the player, so he's out of control. The reason he doesn't get a red is because he doesn't catch him on the ankle and doesn't nearly break it. That's basically it. We're not sending them off for reckless tackles. We're sending them off for the result of the reckless tackle. If you are unfortunate enough to nearly break their leg or catch their knee, you'll get a red. If you don't, we're not going to look at it. And it is true though, Smarty Pants, isn't it? They try and hide behind the fact, and the FA will hide behind the fact that he's out of control and it's reckless. But loads of tackles are out of control and reckless because not everybody makes the tackle. So you're going to send everybody off for not making the tackle? No, what you're sending them off for is whether they're unlucky enough to catch them in an area that hurts them. That's not consistent, is it? So we're not going to get any consistency. What they need to do is be brave and say, actually, there's a certain type of tackle that you're going to get a red card for. If you catch the player, unfortunately, in the knee, I'm not going to send you off because ultimately, what if you hadn't caught them there? You're just unlucky. But we won't get that consistency, and therefore we're always going to end up frustrated as fans. But as I said, if you're a City fan, I know why you think it's a red, because I would think it was a red if it was against United, because that's just bias, which we all have. We all have a club bias, of course you have. Why do you support a team if you're not going to be biased? We protect players that are shit. We overhype players that are average. We see penalties that aren't penalties. We don't see fouls that are fouls. This is the beauty of supporting your football club. And then we argue with other clubs because we think we're right because it's our club. 20 minutes to go. It's still 1-0. When is this City goal going to come? When are the two City goals going to come? Because I'm sure they're going to win. I mean, Leeds would love a point here. They probably deserve a point. You know, when you're down to 10 men against a side like this, you probably deserve a point. But they've still got a long way to go. He's not given a foul there. I tell you what, I've got to say, regardless of the red card, one of the worst refereeing, regardless of the red. He don't want to give fouls, does he? He's an absolute joke. He just won't give a foul to Leeds for anything at the moment. Mark, even if we get a CDM, the rest of our players will still be slow on moving the ball. Our coaching system and Ollie need to change, says AO. Well, I'm live again at 8 o'clock tonight on the United Stand, so I'm sure we can talk about that a little bit. I want to talk about a few things. So, 8 o'clock on the United Stand, we can talk about that. Why do you want Leeds to win, Mark? I'm not. It won't make any difference. In that, it'd be nice for Leeds to win, but Man City are going to win the league. Like, there's no real. I'd rather City win 4-0 here and Dortmund beat them, because there's a benefit to me then. Like, Leeds beating City today is no benefit to me. It's not going to stop them winning the league. So. Fernandinho hits it. Good shot. Tips over the bar. Not a bad hit that by Fernandinho. Arsenal link with Di Matteo, says Soundstation. Nah, that's got to be a load of bollocks. He's a crap manager, he is. I know he won the Champions League, but there's many a rumour that the players did that. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'd love a hot drink.
What do you want?
A cup of tea, please. Thank you. Have you watched Miami Vice, says CJ. I absolutely love Crockett's theme. I love it. "20 minutes to go. When's the City goal coming?" Bernardo Silva. Fernandinho. I suppose this is, City. I was going to say, do you think City struggle against the team that just parks the bus against them? But City have been well used to this for years. City are not the sort of team that, another good shot there, can hold by the keeper from Cancelo. City are a team that are very used to breaking down a team that parks the bus. I remember, when Pep first came to City, it was like, how do you beat City? We used to spend many a time discussing it. Because parking the bus against City is never good enough, because they'll find a way, a tiki-taka way through, or win a penalty or something. So I think the way to beat City is to... I think more and more it's probably been a little bit like Leeds today. You've got to be a little bit expressive. You've got to get at them a bit. You've got to have mobile players, and you've got to back yourself on the ball. See, that was nearly a good play there. Nick says the Di Matteo Champions League win was the luckiest thing you'll ever see. I mean, what I was told, and look, I was told that basically what happened there was it Villas-Boas who got the sack before that, or was that somebody else? But basically, they sacked a manager. The players down the tools, and I think that was there, like people like Terry and Lampard were there at that time. I think Drogba was there as well. So they got a manager sacked. They brought Di Matteo in, and then basically the players just sort of ran the team, and that's sort of how they did it. Opinions on the new Europa Conference League starting next season, says Agent. I don't know what that's all about. Let's have a look. So there will be a third season-long UEFA Men's Football Club competition for the first time in more than 20 years. 184 teams will be involved over the course of the season, including at least one from each of the 55 associations. There will be 8 groups of 4 teams followed by knockout round playoffs, the round of 16, quarterfinals and a final. The 8 group winners automatically go through to the last 16. The new structure for UEFA will ensure that at least 34 UEFA national associations are represented in the group stage. They have no impact on the Europa League or the Champions League. However, the Europa League group stage will reduce from 48 to 32. I don't know what it means for the Premier League. Let's have a look. I think Arsenal might get in it. UEFA's new tournament start. Oh, it's a goal for City. It's a goal for City. It's from Torres that time. You knew it was going to happen. 1-1. Let me just go back to that. Properties. 1. Plenty of time for them to go and win it with 15 minutes to go as well. So I didn't see this, sorry. Fernandinho. He's just about onside Bernardo Silva, and it's a nice finish by Torres, to be fair. Bernardo Silva, there was a touch of maybe offside, but he looks onside to me when he receives it. A nice finish by Fernando Torres. Not Fernando Torres. Furlan, is it? Or something like that. Clever play by Bernardo Silva because he actually moves just before to get himself back onside. We'll come back to that. He's onside. Thank you. 1-1. So surprising, says Ryan. They'll win this. They'll win this game 2-1. I predicted 3-1 before, didn't I? So they might even get 3, but they'll definitely win it. You can't. Man City are one of the best teams in the world at the moment. You can't play against Man City with bloody 10 men. You just can't do it. So it's a training ground exercise for Manchester City. They're probably one of the best teams in the world to play against 10 men. Anyway, let me just go back to that. So UEFA's new tournament starts next season, and a 7th place league finish could see one of London's qualifiers for the inaugural team. Right, this is interesting. So England's representative in the Conference League is set to be the winner of the League Cup, the final of which is contested between Man City and Spurs on April the 25th. No teams directly qualify for the Europa League, with the League Cup winners missing qualification rounds and starting in the final place. But if the League Cup winners qualify for Europe via their league position, then the team that finishes in 6th will drop from their Europa League spot to the Europa Conference place. However, that playoff spot will move to the Premier League's 7th place team if a top 6 club wins the FA Cup. It's getting very, very complicated then, isn't it? But basically, when I was growing up, you used to have the European Cup, Champions League, the UEFA Cup, Europa League, and the Cup Winners' Cup, and that's basically what they're bringing back. They're bringing back the Cup Winners' Cup. So it looks like 7th place is going to get it, but it is very confusing, Evan. Do we need it? Do we need it? I don't think we need it, but you know. PG tips or Yorkshire tea, says Tom. This is probably Tesco, you know. I don't drink much tea. Thoughts on reports of billionaire buying a share of Man United, says Darragh. I don't think he's a billionaire though, is he? I think he's only got 300 million. Only. Yeah, I've got 400 million just sitting in the garage. But no, I mean Manchester United are a £4 billion club, so yeah, it's not going to take You're not going to get rid of the Glazers easy. And to think they bought us on debt. They bought the club on debt and it's now worth 4 billion. 4 o'clock. I'm back live again at 4 o'clock. I'm doing a Grand National watch along, which is at 5. But the hour before, I'm doing a Q&A on the Paddy Power channel. So anything, football related or anything. I'll also have the Villa versus Liverpool second half on. Although that game might be over by then. Great weekend of content, buddy. Looking forward to it. Just the one film tonight. Reservoir Dogs, followed by Mania, says Muzzy Lyons. He watches a film from every year. I think he started from 1980 and every Saturday he watches a film, 2 films from each year. And I'm going to start doing that one day. I think it's a great idea. Thank you, Muzzy. Yeah, it is a good weekend of content. We've had this watch along, which has been interesting, mainly because of the red card. We've got the Grand National watch along on Paddy Power in the Q&A at 4 o'clock. I'll be live on the United Stand at 8 o'clock. We've got WrestleMania watch along second night, tomorrow night. And of course, we've got Man United against Spurs tomorrow. So lots to get involved in. And I might even pop on Twitch and do a bit of a Grand Theft Auto for half an hour or so, about 3. So we'll see how that goes. But the links are in the video description for Twitch and for Paddy Power. If you want to give us a follow or just subscribe to Paddy Power, that'd be great. We need another cup as much as we need a second place trophy, says Stray79. I wouldn't even... You know what? The interesting thing is, Stray, is this just something for the teams like a Burnley or a Wolves? Because as a Manchester United fan, would I want to be in this Europa Conference League? God, no. I really, really wouldn't. It's bad enough being in the Europa League. I'd rather be in the Europa League than nothing. I've always said that. But you want to be in the Champions League. And if you're in the Europa League, you feel a little bit crap. It's like going to school in your brother's hand-me-down shorts, isn't it? It's not quite the same as having your own shorts. The Europa Conference League is just what? That's not even the Poundland Champions League. It's the Poundland Europa League. I mean, how bad's that? But it might be good for some clubs, but I just don't see the interest. And as a consumer, I only watch the Europa League if United are in it. I'd watch the Europa League final. I remember watching Chelsea batter Arsenal. But I'd never even watch a Europa League semi-final. It's meh. Why would I waste my time on that? Unless my club's in it, why would I do it? So, God knows what interest there's going to be in a Europa League conference. I bet it won't last 10 years. It probably won't even last 5. I just can't see what the interest is. Phillips does well there, gets it wide to Costa. Would you prefer Benitez as England manager instead of Southgate? Oh yes, Sound Station, 100%. Of course I would, yeah. Poor old Leeds, they've just got nothing on the attack. They're so tired. They've put so much work into this. Brandon Stevens says 2 weird refs in a row for City. Oh, City will win this. Of course they will. I'm surprised it's taken them this long. They'll definitely win it, though. Good running by Rafinha. Yellow card on Bernardo Silva. Do you want to go and have a look, ref? It might be a red. Let's watch it in slow motion. Oh, he could have broken his knee. He's not got no intention of the ball. Getting the ball. He's kicked him on the knee. That's reckless. He's out of control. As Rio Ferdinand would say, he's reckless. He's out of control. He's kicked him on the knee. That could have careered his injury. Could have ended his career. Go and look at it in slow motion. It looks like it's a murder. It's reckless. You've got to give him a red for that. I do like Rafinha, Callum. I do like Rafinha. I mean, look, I'd have Rafinha at United. Of course I would. We need a right winger. It'd be a shame for Leeds to lose someone like that, though. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We are going to be doing the Champions League watch-alongs on Tuesday, Wednesday. They were brilliant this week. So subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. I may well be doing West Ham Leicester tomorrow as well. We'll see how we go. But I might well be doing West Ham against Leicester tomorrow, just before the United game, because I think it's a big game. So might well be doing that as well. So yeah, we're just waiting for a Man City late winner now. Yeah, Gogglebox was fantastic. I don't know whether there's going to be another one. I don't know whether I'll be on the next one. I don't know what the plans are. I've heard nothing, but I thoroughly enjoyed doing it, and we'll see, I suppose. Cameron, I'm not watching West Brom against Southampton on Monday. I'm with it. I'm not watching that. Callum says you should do Goldbridge reacts yourself. Well, I've thought about it. The only problem is there's a lot of editing goes into that. I'm more than happy to film myself reacting to something. I just can't be asked to edit myself, putting it in and doing it together. That's the problem. Go on, Rafina. Oh, he's through. Go on. Oh, Edison did fantastically well there. That was a great chance for Leeds. Rafina was through. You know what he should have done, really? He should have gone down. Fernandinho catches him. He should have gone down. It would have been a red. Should have gone down there. It's a good, big chance for Leeds. Edison does really well. Watch this back. No, they've not really shown it. Maybe there wasn't an opportunity to go down, but Edison had to time that well. See that from Edison there? He's reckless. Is that not reckless from Edison there? Like, you know what I mean? He stood to show and he takes the ball. I've just said it's brilliant from Edison. But the speed he's going at, if he misses that, or if he catches the player when he gets that, is that not reckless? It's just, this is what I mean. We're not talking about reckless. We're talking about if you catch the player, you might be in trouble. If you don't catch the player, it's nothing to do with being out of control or reckless. It's if you catch the player, which is not always intentional. So I'm not going to stop talking about it because it is actually relevant. When I'm calling into question the fact that people are saying that it's reckless when it's not reckless. Edison's reckless there. He's out of control. He's leading with 2 feet. He gets the ball. It's actually really good. But if he catches the player on the ankle and the player goes down screaming, he could get a red. It's nothing to do with being reckless. It's whether you catch the player when you're doing it. I think people need to understand that. Because we're being told, oh, they're out of control, he's got to go. That's not the prerequisite to get the red card. The reason you get the red card is if you're out of control and you catch the player in the wrong way. And I'm being very sarcastic about every tackle, but I'm actually trying to labour the point. Here's Rafina down the right-hand side again. He's done well. Oh, nearly a goal by Bernardo Silva. I thought it was going in the top corner. I've just hit a banging tweet on Mark Goldbridge. That will get at least 10 retweets, I'm telling you now. Basically what I said is I'd take Rafina at United every day of the week. Proper wide players who make things happen and doesn't just put a shift in. Which is true. You know, I think a lot of wingers these days don't necessarily, you know, make things happen, and he does. When's this City goal going to happen then? Oh, he's giving a foul to Leeds. About bloody time. Ironic clapping. Could do a Dan James for Rafina swap. Well, apparently Leeds really like Dan James. Mark, can you shout out my friend Jamie? Says Phil. There you go, Jamie. McNeil makes it. Hey, Sean Dyche, I'll be honest with you, Dwight McNeil's not a bad player. So, can you throw a punch at an opposition player as long as you don't connect? It's not a red going off these rules, says Luke. I don't know what that means, Luke. If you raise your hands at a player on the pitch, it's a red card in its own rule book. So if you tackle someone, that's allowed. So it's very different. Any more watch-alongs today? Well, I'm doing a Grand National watch-along at 5 o'clock on Paddy Power, but I'm going to fuse that with Liverpool against Villa second half. So 4 o'clock on the Paddy Power channel, I will be doing the second half of Liverpool against Villa. I was going to do the first half as well, but I've got to go and do a couple of bits. So 4 o'clock, Paddy Power, Grand National watch-along, but I'll be doing some Q&A for an hour whilst always also watching the second half of Liverpool Villa. So hopefully it's 0-0 at half-time, and then there'll be something going on in the second half. So links in the video description for that. Make sure you check it out. I shall see you on there. Grand National is always exciting anyway. There's Gundogan, good play, good cross, queuing up on the back, keeper's got it. Cooper got a red card, Mario. 3 minutes added on. What's the Grand National? It's the biggest horse racing event in the UK calendar. Would you kiss Dyche for United to win the Prem, says Jack. Lovely ball through the middle. He's done well. Oh, Leeds! Oh, Leeds! Get in! 2-1! Dallas! JR! He's loving this. It's 2-1 to Leeds. They've gone through at the last minute with Dallas, and he's made it 2-1. He's made it 2-1. Mariner's crying on the pitch. He's gone to VAR. He's trying to edit some Photoshop video to say Dallas needs to be sent off. But Leeds are winning 2-1. I never thought I'd be so happy to see Leeds score a goal. As a massive rival of Manchester United, it makes no sense. But I just feel that they deserve to win this game. They deserve a little bit of luck. Straight through the middle of City's defence. 2 goals for Dallas. It's 2-1. It doesn't matter. Look, Man City are going to win the league. Man City are going to win the league. Of course they are. But fair play to Leeds. And look, there's a bit of justice there, I think. I think there's a bit of justice there. People will disagree, but there's a bit of justice there for Leeds. I've just tweeted one word. But it's not over yet. It's not over yet. Of course, City could get a win. Is there a team to do it? It's Leeds, says Mitchell Costello. You know what? I look, Manchester United and Leeds, massive rivalry, of course. But I like Bielsa and I like the way he plays. I like. Look, to me, football's not about arguing or fighting or anything on the terraces. Those days need to be gone, I think. But I like football and I like Bielsa. Oh, that's a red. Why is that not a red then? Oh, it's only going to be a yellow. It'll only be a yellow, even though he's out of control and reckless. Fernandinho. Why is that not a red? Watch this. He's out of control. He could have broken his back. Enough of those now. But I like Bielsa. I like the way Leeds play football. I just don't like Leeds. But I just think this is more about the injustice of the refereeing decisions today that I think Leeds deserve to win. I think they do. And fair play for them for winning. Makes no difference to Man City potentially winning a quadruple, though. Dallas has got 2. Yeah, 4 o'clock on Paddy Power. I'll be watching the second half of Liverpool against Villa and doing a Grand National watch along. The link is in the video description for that, so make sure you tune in. Also be doing a bit of a Q&A as well, so thanks everyone for watching. I don't hate Chelsea. Don't hate Chelsea. I don't hate any team. I don't live my life like that. I used to, but I don't now. I mean, I watch so much football. It doesn't work with with basically doing stuff like this. But I don't hate any team. I don't want City to win a quadruple. I don't hate City. I think hate's a very strong word. I don't live my life like that. And I think it's coincided a lot with the fact that United aren't very good. So it's wasted hate, isn't it? It's wasted hate to hate on your rivals when we're simply not good enough. If United became properly good enough, then maybe things would change. But we're not good enough to be in these conversations. So, sometimes you just got to appreciate it. I think what Bielsa's done at Leeds over the last 18 months is amazing. They're a very, 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 very good drilled football side with a very, very good coach. This is what, as United fans, get frustrated about. Leeds play brilliant football and are full of intent. Is that not a second yellow card for Fernandinho? Is that the one he got yellow carded for? I don't hate Arsenal. I feel sorry for Arsenal. I used to like laughing at Arsenal, but breaking news. I wouldn't want you to miss this. Arsenal are down to 11th. They probably will beat Sheffield United tomorrow and go back up to maybe 10th. But then again, maybe not. If Villa win, oh no, yeah, they should go above Leeds. But Fernandinho's a dirty shit. That was reckless. I'm just doing one word tweet. I'm on the wind up on Twitter today. Please do DNA test video. What is this all about? I'll write it down, Phil. You're the second person to ask. What's so good about a DNA test video? God, imagine if you had I'm speculating here, but imagine if you found out that you were related to a real shit, like Andre Mariner. Leeds win 2-1. Well, I tell you what, I'm not gonna stand up and clap or anything like that because that's not what I do for Leeds. But they deserve the win. I tell you, the thing is, one thing I do want to say is I should get some praise for picking a good game. Everyone was like, "Why have you picked Leeds against Man City? Why have you picked that game?" I tell you for why. Because of that. Because it's 2-1 to Manchester City to Leeds with 10 men. And a dodgy red card. If I was Russell Crowe, which I'm not, I'm more like, I've got, my build's more like Russell Grant, not Russell Crowe, but certainly from Gladiator. But are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? That's football. That's football. That is a brilliant start to the weekend. What more do you want from a football game? The best team in England beaten 2-1 against 10 men for half of the game. A late winner. A dodgy red card, or at least a controversial red card. That's football. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And we picked the right game. It was absolutely fantastic. What does Gary Barlow think? I think it's absolutely incredible, Mark. Absolutely fantastic from Leeds. The crooner sessions with Gary Barlow. Oh, it's absolutely superb. That was rubbish, but you know what? It's a fantastic game. And the reason I picked it, because Man City play a good brand of football and Leeds under Bielsa, I love the way he plays football. I think if you're ever struggling for a game to watch at the weekend, just watch a Leeds game. Because they'll probably get beat 4-1. Or they might win like they have done today. But the game is always open when you watch Leeds. So fair play to Bielsa. Not Leeds. I don't like Leeds. But fair play to Bielsa. And good win for them. And interestingly enough, Leeds are only 7 points off top four, but they have got Liverpool and Man United next 2 games, so be interesting. I'm live again at 4 o'clock, an hour and a half's time. I'm going to be live at 4 o'clock on the Paddy Power channel. We'll be watching the second half of Liverpool versus Villa. We're doing a Q&A leading up to the Grand National watch along. So if any of those 3 things take your fancy, click on the link in the video description, subscribe, and I'll be there at 4 o'clock when I go live. So thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you all in a bit. Fantastic game. Thanks for tuning in. Loads of controversy, which is what football's all about. But I hope you'll stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in a little bit.